Good evening and welcome to This Week in Joe's Basement. I'm Joe, and this is my basement. So, This Week in Joe's Basement is the second in our series of shows examining the education and the discipline of the young. Last week we took on the teacher's point of view. This week we're going to look at the student's point of view. And, well, we found that they seem to naturally want to congregate in groups of 20 or more, but to get more in-depth personal coverage, we decided to go with smaller groups than that. And so we couldn't get everybody. But I think we got a pretty good broad spectrum. We talked to some of the top students, the valedictorian, the salutatorian, the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper, and people like that. Some people sort of in between, you know, your run-of-the-mill students, which make up the majority of the student body. And some students who the top students might consider thugs, too. So we get sort of all points of view of a student's life at a large public high school in Chicago, namely Kenwood Academy, my old school. So, anyway, well, hopefully you'll get a chance to see, you know, sides of people you don't usually see, and maybe glean some insight into the educational process. So, education and discipline of the young, part 2, this week in Joe's Basement.
I just have a problem with school. I came to school this year going, oh, it's the beginning of the year, I can cut. Then, oh, it's the middle of the year, I can cut. Oh, it's the end of the year, I'm failing. Yeah, I can cut.
And what do you think your problem with school is?
I'm lazy.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. It's just I don't have the patience for, like, doing homework, paying attention in class.
You think high school is important? You think it's going to help you a lot later in life?
I truly do, especially for the students who plan on going to college. Kenwood is a very good academic school that really sets you up and prepare you for college. And the teachers that teach here, they are very great, and they're mandatory, and they're, yeah.
So how do you do here? How are your grades? You do pretty well here?
Yes, I have a grade point average of a 3.2,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on the track team, and I'm a very athletic student. I run track.
You consider yourself a nerd?
Yes, I'm a nerd. I consider myself as a nerd. A nerd.
What do you mean by that? Yeah.
Well, some people think a nerd is a person that don't ever do anything. Like, I consider myself as a nerd because I go to class. I'm going to get what's mine, and that's my education. I'm going to college. I have a job now, and I have a job that most high school students doesn't have right now.
What's that?
I work in Northern Trust Bank in the trust department.
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel that if I had a slack back on my education, that I wouldn't have got this job.
How are your grades? You do well here? Or?
Yeah, I do okay. I've been here since 7th grade
Mm-hmm.
in their prep program. So I don't know. I do all right, yeah.
I mean, would you describe yourself as sort of, you know, where would you
Well,
put
I
yourself
mean,
in
I
terms
guess
of the
I'm like,
rank of students?
whatever, in the honors track, I
Mhm.
guess. I don't know.
Well,
I'm in the National Honor Society, and I'm a gold tassel person. It's like, I don't like to say those things because it sounds so elitist,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but, well, I don't know.
Do you not like having those labels put on you and stuff like that?
No, I don't like labels. I don't mind being honored. In fact, I enjoy being honored.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like what it says about everybody else.
Which
Because
is,
I don't like, you are not being honored. You are not worthy, you
Mhm.
know, of being
How do you think
a
that-
gold tassel student or whatever. Because grades, a lot of times they're not the mark of an intelligent person.
You think so?
No, I don't. I know that they're not.
How do you feel being first in your class? How do you think the other kids view that?
I don't know. I don't see it as that big a deal because there's so many people, and it just means like maybe I got one more higher grade than somebody else or whatever. I guess other people probably see it as kind of a role model, though. I don't know.
How about the kids? How do you feel about the kids, you know, who don't come to class or flunk out of school or don't do well here?
I feel kind of sorry for them because I think they're ruining their chances before they really know what they're doing. I mean, I think they should, you know, try to do everything right first and get the opportunities before they start goofing off. But I guess I'll find that out later.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What would you tell them to change that?
I guess I would just tell them that they should really try to make some sort of plan for themselves, you know, not just the kind of live for today attitude. I know that's cliche, but I really don't think many people think about what they're going to do in a few years, and it really makes a big difference if you start when you can.
You do pretty well in school here?
Yeah.
How do you think how about your friends? Do you think most of your friends achiever types?
Yeah, a lot of my friends are, you know, top 10 types, so they all do pretty well, and we've all figured out how to do well at Kenwood. And
What do you mean figured out? What's the secret?
There's sort of different secrets to different teachers. You know, I mean, some, you know, you really have to, you know, get down to business and, you know, really pay attention, and others, it's sort of strange. You sort of figure out what you like about the class and work from there. And you know, and if you get along with the teacher, you'll usually do fairly well, just because you sort of understand where they're coming from and what they're looking for.
One reason why a lot of kids cut is because either the class is boring or they can't get along with the teacher. That's the main reason. It's summertime. Summertime is too hot.
What do you think about these guys who say sometimes you just shouldn't go because you can't get along with the teacher?
Well, I think that's bull, because I mean, you can't get along with the teacher, you'll get an F, and that's all established. That's fine and good, but it's not. Yeah, it's not going to help you. Like my law class, I do not get along with the teacher at all, but I have to go, and I have to, you know, I need the grade, Mr. Scheller. I mean, you know, it's just he doesn't teach well. But you still have to go to class.
Well, how come maybe you go and he doesn't if you have a class you don't like?
Well, he's in my law class, as a matter of fact, and he comes like once a month. Because he doesn't do everything.
No, I don't get along with the teacher either.
How come you don't get along?
I mean, your personal relationship with the teacher has nothing to do with your grade. And, you know, ignore the teacher. Ignore the teacher and do your work. Ignore the teacher and do your work. I don't get along. I had Miss Rocky in 7th grade, and then she was removed from the 7th through 12 preparatory program, so then I didn't have her anymore. But I didn't get along with her, and she slammed the door in my face when I was on crutches, but I got a C at least.
The problem with I don't think it's the teachers, it's the students. You know, you can only do, teachers can only do so much. Take it as far as, students take it as far as they want to take it, you know. But I do think the problem is what they teaching here, because they're not teaching things that help black people as a whole, you know what I mean?
What do you think they should be teaching instead?
I mean, I like what they're teaching, but it should just be, it should be orientated around the people that go to the school. If it's black people at your school, if the majority of the school is black, the school should be orientated around, you know.
Yeah, because they just now getting.
They just have one Afro-American history class.
They didn't even have that until next year coming up.
If you were a teacher, what would you do with a kid like you?
I'd pass me.
You would?
I mean, if I was a teacher, I'd understand what a kid like me was going through, because I went through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd pass me because I took the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, and although I didn't get my scores back, I keep on getting letters from the Navy saying, hey, you scored within the top 10%. Will you come and be a nuclear physicist? Which is strange, because I hate science.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you think they should just sort of let you off, basically?
Yeah, but they're not gonna, so like, next year is like, I'm just gonna give it a real shot. I'm just gonna try and get it done.
You gonna try to do your work?
Yeah. At least that's how I feel I'm gonna do currently, while I like blow off all my classes and go to like one class, just because that's the only one I think I can pass at this point.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to do after you, let's say, leave school?
I really want to be a garbage man.
You do? Well, that's cool. It should be doable. So if you're gonna be a garbage man, why should you be doing all this stuff? What do you think?
High school diploma.
You need one, huh?
'Cause the GED won't cut it, because one of my relatives has one of those, and he's a loser.
Mm-hmm.
I'm realizing for the first time that what I'm doing now, and I just turned 17, is actually going to have an effect on what I'm doing or how I am when I'm 40. And I don't like that very much. The way things are looking now, if I don't make a decision as to what I want to do real soon, then I'm not going to be doing anything really important, or I'm not, if I, change my mind when I'm 20 or 25, then it'll be a late start, and I won't be doing that well.
This is the generation that's falling apart because
they tell us we're all the dummies.
Like that.
We're all crazy or something.
They think all of us are like that.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't think, I'm not like that. I'm the type that wants an education because I want to be somebody later on in life.
What do you want to be?
Probably an architect or a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm. Can't be what I want to be.
You want to be a psychiatrist too?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've been told I need one.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, so what do you think, I mean, don't you think the teachers should be able to tell that, that you guys care, that you guys want to learn, that you guys are different?
Well, I know that I don't have any regular classes, but I have teachers who think if you're in honors that you're supposed to be perfect, and
you're supposed to
that
know
the
everything.
regular classes aren't worth anything, so ignore them.
Yeah, and I got all regular classes.
So they treat them, because I've heard teachers say, well, in our regular class, like it's low life or something, just because you didn't take an honors class.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a sin or something, because you're supposed to be stupid or something.
High school has been a really good experience for me, showing me a lot of what's going to happen, when you go on later in life. A lot of guys don't take their education shit seriously, and that's a problem.
Sometimes I wonder, what are they going to do? How are they going to, going to survive and stuff? Because their schools, their grades aren't all great, and it's well, if they don't get a scholarship, I don't know how they're going to go to college, at least a decent college, so it's kind of interesting and sad at the same time.
Not calling them ignorant, but they don't have
stupid. They're more.
They don't have an outlook on their lives. You see what they're doing? They're sitting out here, just hanging out here. They don't have an outlook, right? And like us, we've been here for 3 years, and we have an outlook on what we're gonna do and what we plan to do. And you ask them serious questions, and they don't know how to, handle serious
Right, because they haven't been here as long as we have been.
And sitting around repeating math problems all night just doesn't excite them. And some teachers are really good at exciting you about things, and they usually do well in those classes, and then they blow off other things.
Does high school excite you?
Not usually, but it tends not to get so overwhelming that I just give up on it. I sort of muddle through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Usually do fairly well, and some things excite me, and I get really into them.
How do you feel about these students who don't do so well?
I guess it's just aggravating that I know that people see them as being stupid or being. I don't think people understand why they don't do well, and that there's something wrong with these students, and I think the parents see them that way. Somehow, they've raised these delinquent children who actually just aren't doing well in school because they don't want to, but actually they're very intelligent and have a lot of character and are wonderful people to be around with. And I think that people don't see that because they're not getting A's and B's all the time.
How are your grades here? How are you doing here?
Average student.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about some of the kids who do really well, like the valedictorian, the salutatorian? I don't know what year you are here.
Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Just I could do that too if I put my mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
If I really put my mind to it, I could probably do that too.
How come you don't then?
It's I got a lot of friends here and everything. You might want to trip out or something. And I ain't gonna sit here and sacrifice my grade to be with them or anything. But if I feel I can miss a day, I might go for it.
You're gonna get through high school. How do you do at school?
Average. Man. Yes, I do average.
Do you think high school?
I got 2 F's.
I figured that.
I got 2 F's.
I'm gonna make it through. I messed up my first year.
Yeah, what's wrong with
second year, third,
I got
my
3
second,
F's.
and going
No, I got 2. Well, anyway.
I'm gonna straighten up because I can't. Man, you ain't gonna be nowhere getting no F's. Straight up.
You guys think high school is important for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Do You do think it's important?
Yeah, I really think it's important.
See, I want to major.
How you gonna get a job without a high school diploma? But you really need a college diploma too. Plus you gotta go to high school to get to college.
Another thing that I noticed here at Kenwood, a lot of people talk about what they're gonna do and they never do anything. They all talk, no action.
Yeah, and your friends like that?
No, most of my friends
none of
are
our
like that. I
friends
have
are like
some.
that.
I have some. I ain't gonna lie.
Maybe not. But none of our friends are like that. If we're gonna do something, we just do it. I mean, what's the use of talking?
Yeah.
Simple as that.
How do you guys get along with your teachers?
I get along pretty good.
Please don't ask that question.
I survive with my teachers because
You ever had any teachers give you any problems?
Yeah, teacher always give me problems.
Well, Mr. Nesbitt, I think he stereotypes me like somebody will talk.
Why? Because you're black or what?
He's straight though. He a good teacher, man.
Yeah, see, he got him, but he know what he's talking about sometimes. But sometimes, you ask him a question, and he doesn't want to answer you, and that really makes me mad. I want some attention, I don't have problems with my teachers really because I'm a good student, myself.
How about your friends? They good students too?
Most of them, they try hard because they can't play football unless their grades are doing good.
I don't think students respect their teachers.
You think too much,
like they should. Like the teachers are trying to help us, and a lot of students, they hate their teachers.
Why do you think that is?
Because they hate school.
Why do you think they hate school though?
They don't realize how important that school is.
How do you get along with your teachers?
Well, I'm kind of too rebellious for a lot of my teachers.
Do you have any particular incidents you'd like to tell us about, some problems you might have had?
Not particularly.
Okay, ever been sent to detention or anything like that?
Actually, I had good time in in-house detention.
How's that? What'd you do?
Everything we weren't supposed to.
Do you think in-house is a good idea?
Sometimes it's just a waste of time because some people stay in there so much that
I know.
It's really just
Are you going?
And then some people I know I would rather have out school suspension than sit there. It's like being in jail. You can't say anything. You can't talk.
Logo says, he said, don't breathe,
Don't talk, don't chew gum, don't eat. You have to be walked to the bathroom. You have to bring a bagged lunch.
It's like a kindergarten class.
All you have to do is sit there and look at all those walls.
Do you think any of these kids maybe they deserve it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most of them know why they come.
But since you're all getting in-school suspension, I could probably save a little time by making sure that everybody knows the rules that apply to in-school suspension. Out of school started tomorrow. Tomorrow will be good. The rules are quite simple. The form that I give you states all the rules, and you're to read it and sign it. States all the rules right on here that you're to follow. And you bring it home for your parent to sign. Also, I will try to call your parent on the phone to inform them of the reason for the in-school suspension. I asked her for her ID, and she said she didn't have it. Where was your ID?
In my locker.
You're supposed to wear it.
Tell me again from lunch.
But it wasn't your lunch period.
Well, coming in from outside.
Yeah, see, you're missing the whole point here. I think if the substitute is going to allow you to be out of the room, which they're really not supposed to do anyhow, they should give you a pass to be out of the room. She turned loudly and called over her shoulder, "Bitch." You call her a bitch? What do you figure to gain by that?
What?
I mean, how
I
is
didn't
that?
figure to gain anything. I said it out of anger.
Well, don't you realize that that's going to get you in trouble? That the teacher's going to react to being called a bitch?
I didn't even think about it. I just said it out of anger. It just came out of
Okay, well, you better use a little more self-control in the future. We can't always do the first thing that comes to our mind because we're upset. So anyhow, Mrs. Prince sent this complaint to Mrs. Pritchard, and Mrs. Pritchard is assigning 2 days of in-school suspension, which we can have you serve on Monday and Tuesday. I just need a phone number to reach your parent.
Listen, Linnea, you seem pretty unhappy about this in-house thing.
Yeah, it's the first time I've got it. And I know my mom's going to be upset.
Is that right? Well, we won't use your name on television, by the way, if you don't think your mom would like that. But
You think this is fair what they did? You think they got you for something you didn't do maybe?
No, it's what I did. I just don't see why she's making such a big deal of it and why I have to serve 2 days in-house for it. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. How do you feel about this whole process dealing with, talking to Mr. Novo and stuff?
I don't like it because it seems like, well, I don't know, it seems like they don't really care that much. They just, I don't know. They're just going through a process, just going through motions.
You're generally a pretty good student, though. You go to the National Honor Society thing, right? So you never had any troubles with teachers before?
No.
How'd this happen all of a sudden?
Because I didn't feel like she was just picking on me. I mean, I'm a senior, I have like 3 more days of school, and now I have to serve 2 days in-house.
Yeah?
And I'm gonna miss my finals and everything.
You're gonna have to miss your finals?
I'm gonna have to make them up somehow.
Well, I think it's quite ironic that as I come upon you filming Lene that, she's talking about having gotten in trouble with me. And of course that I'm picking on her. It's a typical response, I think, of a student who is being made to do something that perhaps they've been habitually able to get away with. Picture me, please, following my regular schedule, rushing through crowds to get to my study hall, which is near the front doors of the school, and picture me day after day coming across students who are bringing food into a school that's supposed to have an open campus where they can leave to go get their food, but they're not encouraged to bring any food in. There are specific rules against that. It's bad enough that all through the year I'm told by students that they're not going to do what I tell them to do, that they're going to do whatever they want. And then when I write one up or make one, they burst out crying as if they're victims of very mean teachers. I'm getting tired of that kind of attitude in these schools.
Ever get suspended or taken in for discipline or anything like that?
Often.
Yeah, got any stories about that? What was the worst time, or was the worst time that ever happened to you?
There's just no real worst time. All of these just seem funny to me.
You think it's maybe sometimes the student's fault? He can't do if he doesn't do well?
And then other times it's definitely the teacher's fault, because sometimes the teacher don't like you. She'll sit here and give you a bad grade. She'll give you a bad grade. She don't like you. You can turn in all your work, she'll still give you a bad grade.
You think some teachers might be prejudiced?
Yeah, there's 2 of them in here that I know of that all the black kids in the class, she wouldn't give them a good grade. The highest grade they got was like a D. And all the other kids, they got A's and B's, and they practically did nothing.
And you're the
salutatorian.
You're the salutatorian. How do you feel about that? How do you think other kids feel about that? You think any kids resent you for achieving like that?
I don't feel resented, but I don't feel like I know many of the people here.
Is that right?
I feel this is a real sore spot, sort of. I mean, there's such a segregation. I don't know, I just wish that there was more socializing between, maybe there's nothing that we have in common. It feels so weird that you tell people that you go to this school and it's supposed to be really racially mixed, but I don't really have any black friends. I mean, I have one friend, sort of. I mean, she's not my closest friend, but I don't really have any really close black friends. And I think that's kind of weird, considering.
Yeah, you probably don't think that you choose your friends whether they're white or black, just people who are like you. Yes.
I don't think about it like I wouldn't be friends with someone who is black. It just doesn't seem that there's anyone that I haven't met anyone, I suppose, that I feel like I really want to be close with. And maybe even if they were in my classes, I would feel like, well, our families are so different, or we live in different neighborhoods, or I don't know.
Do you think she's typical in that way?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, I think, or one of the problems is that there's so many people who are not racist. They really are not racist, but they're not working toward change because they have no reason to. They're not missing out. I don't think Ariel is saying, God, I wish I knew more black people, because I feel like I'm losing these interactions which will make my life better or anything like that. And if she really wanted to, then she would just do it. She would find a way.
What do you guys think of the kids here who have almost, the straight A kids, the kids with the really high grade averages?
I don't mind, but see, this is really like the nerdy section. All the straight A, all the straight A honor roll students. Those are the ones playing Foursquare and stuff. Right over here, you get those Foursquare players. We pretty much don't mess with them. But every once
Why
in a while,
not?
well, because they got everything. They had a head on their shoulders. So I mean, we may throw a snowball at them every once in a while. I have a few of those friends.
It's not even snowing. I don't know why you're talking about snowball.
When we had the snow out. When we had the snow out.
I don't see no snow, John. All right, but don't.
We threw some balloons. We might throw some balloons at them and stuff. We just have fun. We don't beat them up or something, and we try to keep the other kids off of them. But I know some of them are in my classes because I have a few honor classes in there. But I don't consider myself being nerdy or anything. But some of them are okay. But then some of them they too stuck on themselves, and that's the problem they have at Kenwood.
You ever feel isolated at all from some of the other students?
Yeah, I think it's probably just not a combination of grades because people automatically assume I'm a snob before they get to know me. I think it also probably has to do with racial issues. But I have a lot of friends too, so it's just you learn who to stay away from, and then you don't feel as isolated.
Who do you stay away from so as not to feel so isolated?
The thugs. People I can tell have already made assumptions about me that probably aren't true, but they probably aren't going to change their minds.
That's the misconception, or so-called nerds that he calls them, that we all hoodlums and all this, and we running around like we rampant or something. We think we have like 1,000 cuts in the school, which is not really true. So it's just another stereotype that they have of us.
I know certain white people talk about Kenwood being full of stupid thugs, and I, for one, believe that I can't think of any real thugs in Kenwood. I mean,
we've been looking for them there. It's actually pretty hard to find.
I mean, you have goofy black teenagers, a lot of goofy black teenage guys, but people don't realize if you go into thousands of white high schools in America, there are lots of goofy young white guys too. It's the same thing. It's just different means of expression.
What kind of advice would you give an incoming freshman based on your experience here?
Don't take it too seriously. It's funny because when you come in as a 7th grader or a freshman, they're so intent and they run to classes and they run to their gym class. So.
Most of my friends have good grades. They get along good. And
what do you think they think about the fact that you don't ever go to school?
they want me to go to school. A couple of them have told me that. So that's why I'm going to make a effort next year to go to school so that I can make an effort.
Think they'll like that?
No, because I'll probably change just from having to, like, go to school. I mean, last year...
Do you want to change?
Yeah.
How do you want to change?
I want to pass. I want to get out of here so I can be a garbage man.
Mrs. Patterson, I'll need that misconduct form on Yvonne Harris. Yes, good afternoon. May I speak to Mr. Stephen Gary, please?